Hey guys, so I started this new YouTube channel and it basically goes over a bunch of fantasy players that I feel are being slept on and just everyday good stats, good players that are just not being looked at in fantasy leagues all over, and just overall give you guys some advice on who to look after in fantasy leagues, who to go after, the new up and coming players, rookies, stuff of that nature. So, this is my first video, and first I want to start off with a really good player, Jalen McDaniels. Currently ranked 57th in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball Standard 9-cat leagues in terms of season totals. McDaniels is in line for even more touches due to the departure of Gordon Hayward, who went out with a shoulder injury last game. So far this season, he's averaging 10.9 points, 1.8 threes, 5.8 boards, 2.4 assists, 1.3 steals, zero point 0.8 blocks, and only 1.3 turnovers a game on 42% from the field, 50% from three, and 92% from the free throw line. Now, this Charlotte team is already missing a LaMelo Ball, and now that Gordon Hayward is gone, McDaniels is going to be getting a lot of burn in the future. Not to mention, last night he had a line of 11 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks, and only 2 turnovers the whole game. Now, the only problem with last night's game is that he shot 5 for 18 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, and he only made 1 of 2 free throws. But his usage is going to be spiking up a lot in the near future, and his numbers are definitely going to follow. So I feel like Jalen McDaniels is going to be a really good pickup in the up and coming a couple of weeks. Next, I got Aya Dosunmu. Dosunmu was one of the biggest surprises of last season as a second-round rookie. Now in his second year, he's already getting better and better. Currently ranked 63rd in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball Standard Leagues in terms of season totals, he's averaging 12.5 points, 1.5 threes, 4.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.1 steals, 0.3 blocks, and just 1.4 turnovers a game on 50% from the field, 39% from three, and 100% from the line. Entrenched as a starting point guard for the Bulls, Dosunmu is going to be getting a lot of recognition due to his defense and excellent playmaking. And under Billy Donovan, the second-year guard is going to continue playing a ton of minutes. And no one knows when Lonzo Ball is going to come back, so Dosunmu is going to be a really good player to look up in case he's still available in your league somehow. Next, we got Trey Jones. Right now, Jones is averaging a career high in every counting stat this year, which is 12.3 points, 0.9 threes, 4.5 rebounds a game, 5.5 assists, 1.3 steals, 0.3 blocks, and only 2.3 turnovers a game on 37% from the field, 39% from three, and 91% from the line. You know, the shooting has been brutal for the efficient guard out of Duke, but he's still stuffing the stat sheet and providing category-winning efficiency from the free throw department, 91% on 4 attempts a game. Another thing, he has had 7 or more assists in 4 of the last 5 games. Jones is entrenched as the starting point guard for Coach Pop, and the departure of Josh Primo solidifies his spot in the starting rotation. He'll get his shooting under control eventually, but he's still a starter that's getting 30 minutes a game, so he's a good player to look out after. Next, we got Lonnie Walker. Walker's having a fantastic season, actually, with the Lakers so far. Right now, he's averaging 16.1 points, 1.7 threes, 3.3 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.1 steals, and 1 block. And also only 1.4 turnovers a game on 44% from the field, 29% from three, and 77% from the line. The percentages won't win you leagues, but the counting stats are a different story, as he's averaging a steal and a block for the first time in his career, along with 16 points a game. As long as Walker is getting minutes in the 30s, he's worth an add in standard 9-cat leagues due to his all-around stat profile. Expect the Lakers to continue giving him minutes because they need some major help right now, as they're only 2-5 in the season. And they are coming off a really good win against the Pelicans, though. Good thing Matt Ryan was there to save the game. Next, we got Isaiah Hartenstein. This guy is criminally slept on. Currently ranked 80th in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball Standard Leagues based on season totals. Hartenstein's averaging 8.3 points, 0.3 threes, 7.7 boards, 1.1 assists, 1 steal, and 1.4 blocks, and only 1.1 turnovers a game on 53% from the field, 20 from three, and 75% from the line. The former Clipper's having a fine season off the bench for Coach Tibbs right now. Despite coming off the bench, he's averaging more minutes, 25 minutes a game, compared to starter Mitchell Robinson, who's only averaging 23.1 minutes. Also, blocks are a very hard stat to get in fantasy, and Hartenstein's more than capable of providing that. Hartenstein's a very reliable big that provides every counting stat, and his all-around game is fantasy gold. Also, he's only 50% owned in Yahoo League, so look after Hartenstein in case he's available in your league, because he's a pretty good fantasy player, and he will give you some gold. Next, we have Colin Sexton. Sexton was one of the biggest names this offseason due to being traded to Utah, but he started off the season very slowly and hasn't played a ton of minutes. But he may be turning the corner because over the last 3 games, he's played 32, 24, and 31 minutes when he played 21 or fewer minutes in the first 6 games of the season. Over the course of the season, though, he has averages of 13.2 points, 1.1 threes, 2.8 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 0.9 steals, 0.1 blocks, and only 1.7 turnovers a game on 46% from the field, 36% from 3, and 84% from the line. Right now, Sexton isn't really worth rostering, but when the time comes, he's going to be in the starting lineup or, at the very least, a bona fide 6-man for the Jazz. The Jazz are also currently 6-3, so it's not certain when or if he's going to be starting over Mike Conley. Still, his time's going to be coming, and he's going to be making some noise. Next, we got Royce O'Neal. Certainly one of the more surprising players in the league this year, but he's currently ranked 44th in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball Standard Leagues based on season totals. He's averaging 10.8 points, 2.5 threes, 4.4 boards, 3 assists, 1.4 steals, 0.9 blocks, and only 1.1 turnovers on 41% from the field, 41% from 3, and 100% from the line. Just last game against Chicago, he finished with a career-high 20 points to go along with 4 threes. If O'Neal is going to continue being a starter for this team, he will have no problem putting up 4th, 5th round Standard League value. This Nets team's they're in shambles right now, but at least O'Neal has been very consistent. Next, we have Nicholas Claxton. Claxton's another starter for the Nets team, that has been providing excellent value despite the lower usage. He's currently ranked 83rd in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball Standard Leagues based on season totals, but he's trending up. He's currently averaging 11.9 points, 8.8 boards, 1 assist, half a steal, and 2.1 blocks, and 1.6 turnovers a game on 70% from the field and 41% from the line. The turnovers can be tiring, and the free throw shooting does no favors for anyone, but his strong field goal percentages are on decent volume, and his 2.1 blocks a game is definitely category-winning-esque. Another thing to mention, over the first 6 games, he has had only 2 total assists. Over the last 2 games, he has had 6 total assists. Maybe he can up his assist averages and hit those threes he's been training for this past offseason. Claxton has it in him to shoot the ball and to hand out some assists, but he's got to show it on the court. But right now, his blocks and his volume and field goal percentages are very good right now. They're very helpful. Next, we have Bruno Fernando. After having a very fun first game of the year, he unfortunately suffered a knee injury in just his second game. Over the 2 games he played, he averaged 5.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, half a steal, and 1 block, and just half a turnover on 83% from the field and 50% from the line. His very first game as a starter, he had 7 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, and no turnovers on 3 of 3 from the field and 1 of 2 from the line. He only lasted 12 minutes in his second game, but he still put up 4 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, a steal, and a turnover on 2 of 3 from the field. Fernando's still going to be out for a little bit, but it wouldn't be a crazy idea to add him right now, as he's going to be a potential rest of the season starter, and Alperen Sengun will more than likely be coming off the bench. If that's the case, Fernando would be a fantastic add. As of right now, he's only 5% owned in Yahoo Standard Leagues. And last, we got Josh Hart. Josh Hart is currently ranked 95th in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball Standard Leagues based off of season totals. Over the first 7 games, he's currently averaging 9.7 points, 0.4 threes, 8.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.3 steals, 0.3 blocks, and only 1.9 turnovers a game on 50% from the field and 81% from the free throw line. His first game since he suffered concussion-like symptoms, he finished with just 5 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 3 turnovers on 1 of 4 from the field and 3 of 5 from the line in 40 minutes. The minutes are clearly there, but the production was severely lacking this time. Still, he's been very productive for Coach Billups, and his starting spot is his to lose. Expect the all-around 3 to get better in the next one. And this concludes my first video. Drop a like, drop a comment, give me suggestions on who to talk about, and I'll be making more videos in the future. Thanks, guys.